All right, hi.
We made it.
Made it.
Episode 1.
Finally.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, what was the most impactful thing you learned this week?
This week, the thing that was most impactful to me was the idea of being slow to speak and quick to listen. And that impacted my business, my parenting, my husbandry. That's a word. my friendliness, like that. So slow to speak. Yeah, sure. So slow to speak and quick to listen.
Okay.
What about you? What was your thing that impacted you the most this week?
The realization that I don't know how to rest, or I don't know what rest is for me. Like not sleep, but rest. I literally need to figure out what it means to rest.
What it means to rest.
Like what actually is rest for me? What gives me rest or makes me feel rested?
Okay. Like sleep rest or
no, not sleep.
Stop, pause, rest. Like what does that mean?
Yeah, like no, what is the thing or the activity that is not driving, pushing, or like growth, like metric driven? Because I thought it was working out. It's not working out because I'm very competitive in that and push myself when I'm doing it. I push myself really hard. But like, what is like the chill moment? No,
it's interesting. Oh, it's just interesting.
Am I doing not push myself?
No, you push yourself, push yourself. You're like the little engine that could. But like I think most people in the world wouldn't view rest as working out. Like, what'd you do all weekend? I rested. Oh, really? How much Netflix shows did you watch? I didn't. I got PR'd my bench and my squats, and I ran 2 5Ks. Like that doesn't sound like rest, right?
Well, and but that is when I feel the most rested. Like that's not it. That's when I feel the most energized.
Okay.
Like after I work out, everyone's like, "You go to the gym at 4 a.m?" Hell yeah, I love that shit. But
we go to the gym at 4 a.m.
We go to the gym at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
But like I feel my most energetic. So like when I think about recharging, then like my mind goes to working out or like movement.
Yeah.
But that's still stress on the body. So I'm in the middle of trying to figure out what actual rest is.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, especially for you because you work with your brain all the time. So any opportunity you get to shut it off and do something that's not that, I can see that. I can see that being rest. That's a good one.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I learned is I don't know how to do that. So
yeah, we'll figure that out.
We'll figure that out. We'll update you guys.
Episode 19. We'll get that one figured out.
You like that? All right. So this is number 1.
Number 1.
Well, why are we doing this? What's your intention? Let's just start the conversation of why are we here? Why are we doing this?
Okay, intention, purpose, probably all tied into one for me. The long conversation shortened. The version would be, our marriage was failing in 2015, and through that next 2 years, we really was just on a roller coaster ride. And you really started working on yourself a lot sooner, a lot before I did. Taking care of your body, your mind, anything. You were killing it. You were a rock star with that. And I was still driving in our last business together. I was just driving there, and just because I felt like I was a provider, that felt like, I should have been whatever. I should have been loved for the value that I brought. The value that I thought I brought was this, but it actually was pulling us away. And in 2017, you were going to a conference and you invited me, which was a big deal for me because, I wasn't really in that circle of learning that you were in. And so I went with you and I kind of fell in love with the idea of learning and, I love being with you. Like you're my favorite person to hang out with. Like if I could pick anyone, to sit on a park bench and just have a conversation with, I would pick you.
Aww.
So that being said, it's like, when things are working and they're not. And, our marriage was was on a good path during that time. But, you know, starting to get kind of addicted to knowledge, I just kind of fell into that. And I, you know, every opportunity I have to have a conversation with you is, you know, I just take it. I think that falls into, I guess my purpose is just to you know, find any opportunity to connect with you where we can, you know, find out new ways to grow in our marriage and our friendship together and our, you know, co-parenting and our businesses and, you know, just do life with you. And I think that's kind of where the idea of a podcast came in. Yeah. And it's been a long time coming, but really kind of fast in the last couple of weeks. We really just started talking about like, let's just do it. Let's just dive in. And I think, yeah, I don't know if that answers it like to you as much as it does to me, but it makes a ton of sense to me. You know, you always say like you want to do stuff with me, and since we haven't ran a business together in the last 5 years, really, I think it was just a nice opportunity to do something together. You know, where we get to come here, you know, be in front of a camera or, you know, in front of the world or in front of our peers or whatever, be uncomfortable, be real, be raw, and hopefully learn something from each other and grow through this.
That's good. That's a good intention. Learn something from each other. I like that.
Yeah. I think you told me, and it's somebody in the, you know, in the speaker's realm or whatever, like, what is it? Don't be the smartest person in the room.
Yeah.
And I'm usually not the smartest person in the room, especially with you. Like you're so good at it. Like I just love to hear you speak. You know.
I love that.
So
I wish I felt like that, but.
Well, you have a nice voice too.
Oh my god. So. You're like.
I'm hitting on you.
Oh, okay. As long as it's that.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. So as far as purpose goes, I don't know if you want to wrap your attention and purpose together, but or if it's like mine, it's probably gonna be more clear than mine. But
oh my god,
let's hear it.
This is not a competition.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
What is your purpose? What do you think is that?
It's funny because a couple of weeks ago when we tried to record this episode and like all shit hit the fan, my answer was actually different. The last couple of weeks have been challenging. And I feel like anytime you set out to do something new or great or uncomfortable, like you're going to be met with resistance. It just always happens. And so I think it's, you know, I told you this today. I'm like, I feel like a fraud because our relationship is not perfect. And if we would wait until our relationship is perfect, like we'll never do it because it's never going to get there. Like we could always feel like a fraud. Specifically, I think like when you're teaching on something or like, I wouldn't even say we're teaching here. We're just like sharing stories and then like bringing our insights of like what we're learning and what's been valuable for us. And I think it's that. I think it's like, I love story, right? Like you're a movie guy. I love story. I think like we all have our own story. And I think that this is a great opportunity for us to like actually celebrate our story and share the hard shit too. Like be raw, share the hard shit, which I don't really love doing. But that's the point is like get uncomfortable together. Like you and I have never taken the easy road. And we haven't ever given up. Like I was trying to think through what's like one thing to overcome my like I'm a fraud kind of what's that called? Like there's like a name for it.
Syndrome? I don't know.
Like there's a name for it. I can't think of it. But there's like to overcome that, I'm like, what's the one thing that I could like honestly say that we've done well? We haven't given up. Like we've never hit the quit button. Yeah. We've never hit we've never hit eject. And like that's a big deal right now. And I think that there is power in knowing when to quit, but like specifically in marriage, the discernment, like it should take a lot. Like there has to be something else going on. to hit that eject button, right? And like we have always come back and like pushed forward and chosen to work through things. And so like we do not have it all figured out. I want to make that very clear on this podcast. That is not why we're doing it. We are going to share what's worked for us, but not because it's like the only thing that works. But I think the purpose or the intention for me is just to like continue to sharpen each other and to show up and do hard shit and like show up even when we don't like each other. Like that's actually one of my greatest intentions, because we have said we were going to record it like 4 or 5 times. And then I like didn't like you that day.
Yeah.
And I have like, I didn't like you that day, and I like made an excuse, and then I'm tired, and you probably didn't like me. And like, I want to show up regardless of if we like each other that day, because like you always say, that's the thing. One of the things that you say that I love is like, relationship is not about like being deeply in love, but it's about re-falling in love and choosing to fall in love with that person every single day. And like sometimes multiple times a day, like you have to re-choose to love that person. You're just like, oh, I'm falling out of love. And I think that is a piece that like we can like fall victim to a lot. So that, I think overall, that's my greatest intention, is that we will show up regardless of how like in love we are. And and then like show up relentless and like choose to continue to push past and sharpen each other, because it's keeping it sharp. Like that's literally the name. And then like share the like the not so dull moments. And that could be like the really hard shit and the really great shit and all the things in between. And you're really funny. So I think that's one of my greatest intentions, because you have decided to not get back on stage. You've decided not to do comedy. That's one of my greatest intentions, is to make you get in front of the mic and like share your jokes and your humor with people, because I am typically the subject. And if I'm going to be the subject, it should at least have an ROI.
That's your intention.
Yeah. Like if I can't drug you and get you on stage,
That's funny.
if I can't drug you and get you on stage, I'm at least going to like start a podcast. So you have to at least start moving towards that direction.
Yeah. Well, to get on stage, you got to have stories. I just talk shit and I just make fun of you. So
you have stories. I'm like a living, breathing story for you.
For sure.
So yeah, that's my intention.
That's really good, actually.
Thanks.
Yeah. I love it. I love that, you know, what you said about like coming together and sharpening each other. It's really good, because you do fall in and out of love with people all the time, even like friends, family. Like not everybody's like your co-captain all the time. You know, sometimes you still have to, you know, steer the ship together, even though I can't freaking stand you today, you know, like.
It never happens. You always can stand me.
Yeah. Well, it's because you're so cute, and that's why.
You're ridiculous.
No, but I think like for us that's work too, because we have kids, we have things, and you know, we're not quitters. You know, there's plenty of reasons, you know, why we could have quit. But you know, we're in this. We signed up. We wrote the contract. We're invested in this. Like one of the things that you said to me when we first met was, either commit to me or this can't work, you know, because I was so lost and undecided. But, you know, it's kind of been, you know, even commit to you. It's been committed to you since then.
All in, baby.
All in. And it hasn't been pretty. Like there's moments where it hasn't been pretty, but I think that the issue with that is we remember the bad times more than we do the good, right? And the good feels a lot better than the bad, but you could have one bad experience in your marriage and 100 good ones, but we tend to lean on those bad ones.
Yeah.
But you know, it takes forgiveness. It takes willingness to get in front of each other and sharpen each other and be uncomfortable and have a conversation. Even something like last week, we had a conversation and you're like, I don't want to talk about it.
Am I Donald Trump?
No. But it was like, you're like, I don't want to talk about it. And that's like, well, I kind of needed to go through the motions because like I said, with the thing I learned this week was to be slow to speak and quick to listen. Like, I don't know if you want to get into what happened, but like you came home, you asked for something, I was all about it. But when it came to me being a little uncomfortable for you to have, a happy night, just something you wanted, something so simple.
It was sushi. For all of you watching, it was sushi.
Okay,
we had a fight about sushi. Go on.
She wanted sushi. Okay, so you're gonna tell. She wanted sushi, and I was like, yeah, it's great. Go get you some sushi. And she's like, okay, cool. Well, our son, who also likes sushi, didn't want to go with you. So, that's kind of, and then I needed to go through that. I needed to ask you because I was quicker to speak. I wasn't slow to speak during that one. I said, no, I don't feel like teriyaki tonight. And, we basically, it disconnected us for 2 whole days. And it's because I kept talking to you about it. But, maybe we don't process things exactly the same way, but our differences strengthen each other in that.
Yeah.
Because you told me what kind of mattered, and then, a couple of days ago, I was able to kind of feed into, what you said you needed, and then let you kind of just not think about it for a night.
Yeah. Yeah, so in that, like, what's the intention? Like what do you want to, like, what do you hope to bring to people based on that?
I guess get over yourself, really. Like, we're too glued to, like, who we are, like, our identity, right? Like we're too glued to that. Like, there's a lot of foods I don't like, but there's a lot of things that I can do. But
I think, well, I don't think it's identity. I think it's comfort.
yeah,
Or like,
could be that too.
I don't think it's identity. I think we're too glued to our comforts.
Maybe, but like, I think it's like I don't like that, or I didn't want that. It could be comforts.
Because identity is usually a positive thing. Like I think personality, we get too glued to like our personality. Like I'm this. You get mad at me for that a lot. I'm a challenger, so I don't like vulnerability, but like that's the point of this podcast is to like step out of my comfort zone and do it. So I think it's comforts, but you're right. That's good.
Yeah, but I think it's like with that, what you asked, what I want people to get from this, it would be, if something pops up and it's uncomfortable for you, it's not really that big a deal. It's really was not worth 2 days of
no.
Because we basically lost 2 days of our marriage, like, and happiness. And our son's birthday party was the next day. So there's just a lot of things that really, like, it's not really even about you all the time. You know what I mean? Like, just be a chameleon in that. Like, be willing to adapt and just adjust to, like, how do you even have friends if you're not willing to do things that take you out of your comfort zone?
Yeah. Which I think a lot of times that's why we don't have relationships, because we're not willing to get uncomfortable. And a lot of people would say that's sacrifice, but I don't think that's sacrifice. I think it's choosing, I think that's a big thing for this podcast is like choosing to put somebody else's like needs not first, but like it's choosing to prioritize the people you care about. And like show up in a way that like it says like love others how you love yourself, right? And I think that a lot of times we don't love ourselves, we just choose comfort. Like most of the time, like that thing is actually not love for us, but we're so addicted to the comfort piece. So I think it's like really like breaking past people's comfort zones, specifically right now in our like societies. Comfort is it's creating mediocrity. It's creating like mediocre relationships. Like I hate that when people are like, oh, that's just like how relationship goes. That's just like getting older. That's just being married for 20 years. And I'm like, screw that. Like that is not my standard. I'm not going to live for that. So I'd say that's another intention is like, I want to shatter. I want to crush the stereotypes of what we like say marriage is. Because
for
it's
sure.
not like I want to raise the standards on what's possible when you like decide and you choose to put the vision first and like give people, you know, the tools or like options to like actually choose a passionate. Everyone's like, I don't want that. I don't want to be stuck in a marriage like that. I'm like, okay, well, like, what do you want? Right? Like, what if it's not that? Like, let's raise the standards. Like, of course you don't want that type of marriage.
Yeah.
What do you want? And I think that so many times we get stuck on the problem, so we don't actually even know what we want, so therefore we're not asking for it. And I think that like that is a big tool that we'll be bringing to people, because I think that we've done that a lot. I wouldn't say we've done it well, because in our 2-3 day fights we don't do it well. We talk about the problem a lot, but you're not going to get to the solution by talking about the problem. And I think so many times we talk about the problem expecting the solution, and that's really just insanity. We're literally rehashing the shit that's not working to try to get to the problem or the solution, and that doesn't work. So I think there was like another intention. Like this last thing I'll say on intention, I think for both of us, but specifically for me, is to bring people who have ages, like all ages of kids, teenagers specifically, like some like real honest truth and like strategies or tools, or just like freaking hilarious stories, because nobody talks about the teen years. Everyone talks about, in my opinion, there's MOPS, there's like mommy and me groups, there's all the groups, there's all the things specifically for moms, but for parenting, there's like all the books, all the stuff. And I just don't feel like there's a ton of resources for parents with teens. And there's so many things that I wish I would have known. Like, I wish I would have got more help when they were younger, and like prioritized how we were going to build and like create support now that they're older. Cause like you can't put them in a playpen, and you can't just like it's weird to have a nanny for a 15-year-old. Like it just is like very strange. And like that process has been really challenging for us, and like understanding how they still need a lot of help and support. And I think it just like looks so different than when they're younger, but not a lot of people are talking about the teen years. So I think that's another one, and the chaos of mixing that into like relationship and business and trying to do it all well.
Yeah, it's like trying to run a circus.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a business. You have chihuahuas, you have clowns, you have people who throwing knives and the flame. You know, you have all these things going on.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, that's great.
Okay, so who is this for? Like, when you think about who you're speaking to, I talk about this a lot. Like, when we're doing anything like this, it can become so abstract. Obviously, we've said, like, this is for each other, and this is, like, first and foremost for our relationship.
Yeah.
But when you think, if you were to, like, put, you know, like, the top 3 people who you, like, envision, don't say their names, but, like, who is this for? When you, like, break it down, like, help people understand, like, oh, this is for me. So who do you see when you think about why we're doing this and who it's for?
I see like, so I have like a really big passion for like young men, right? So I grew up in a community where none of us had fathers.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was a really strong voice for young boys who were, you know, my age or younger, growing up all the way till I was about 18 when I left for college. And, you know, I kind of lost that voice for a while. You know, I kind of went through life, kind of stumbled through some hard things that have happened and had to grow up. And I think, I don't know if I could break it down to 3 people, but I think, who this is for, I have a big heart just for people who are in a relationship and who think that like what they're going through is only them. You know, it's just to bring light to situations that, hey, we're all going through something. We've all been through something. We're like, nobody's immune to the things that happen to you in life. So just to be a voice and to be a light to those people. I don't know. I wouldn't say specific age group. I just like when I think about it, I see young men.
Like, what is young men to you? Like, what age group?
I would say 30 and under.
Oh, okay.
Like that keeps changing. I'm 40 now, so it's probably 10 years younger than me. Someone who I could look up, or who could look up to me as maybe like being a big brother, or somebody like. So I feel like I'm very accountable. Like if somebody needs something, I'll be the first one there to help you move your furniture, or help you dig a ditch in your yard or something. You know, if something like I have a close couple friends now who are accountability partners, and I kind of just want this podcast to be an accountability session for people who, you know, they want to go out and they want to just hear something real. They want to hear how other people deal with it. Other people like us, you know. And life is a challenge, but it only has to be as challenging as you let it be.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's an opportunity. We get to do this together. We get to talk about our problems and our wins, our losses, our triumphs, our whatever. Pick a word, right? So I think it's for younger men and women. I'd say maybe they have a family. Like it's hard to specify one person, but I feel like it's just a voice for younger men, 30 and under, 40 if they want to be. You know, when we're 40, we still think we're 15.
Okay, that's great. I like it.
And what about you? What would be your intention?
Yeah, I think it's for this podcast specifically, I think it's for the families that they just have a lot on their plate. Like they're juggling a lot. And specifically what I've struggled with in my career and my relationships is like those people that are in my life. Like I just don't have a lot of people that speak into my life. Like I am constantly, because of my career, because of what I do for a living, I am like constantly feeding in and like building others up, where, you know, we've talked about this, like I just don't really have those support systems. Like I have a great family, nothing wrong with them, but like also I don't really feel like I've had that like mentorship. And like there's moments that I'm like, I don't have the answer or like a voice of reason for this thing. And it's for the person that's just like, I need more mentorship. I need more people who are real. Like in church, you know, that drives me crazy. Like we're just like little like everything's great bubbles and like Christian Castle and just like don't have your house ready because we're looking in. I hate that. And so that's why I think for both of us, it's important that we talk about real stuff, because nobody is real. Like with social media, I think it's just people who like want the real conversation. And they have so much on their plate that they don't have time to like go to the thing or find a new friend or whatever. Not that like we're a friend, but like just someone to like uplift them, and they have all the plates spinning and their plate is overflowing. And the couple that's like, I don't actually know how to work on this, and we've done the therapy and we've been to the like marriage like conference, and those things are great. We've done those things, we do those things, but like I need the day to day, I need the week by week, like just something to focus on. And like the couple that wants to grow together, like I think it's really important for us to grow together. And I want to bring real actionable tools to couples that are like, we're literally like ships passing in the night, and we just need like a quick grab and go. We need like a quick thing we can both listen to and then like grow from that and have a conversation about it. You know, like you and I have worked really hard at finding different tools for that. So I think like that's kind of and parents with teens and business owners, like business owners, couples, parents with teens, parents in general, but specifically with teens, like we can totally talk to like, you know, we've been through all the ages and stages up to 20 now. Our daughter oldest is 20. almost 20. So, you know, I think that that's who I'm really passionate about. And we're both Christian. And so I think that's a big part of this. Like, I don't always talk about that in all of my content. But like, I want to bring that into this podcast specifically. I wanted to, like, if that's not your jam, that's totally fine. But I want to bring that piece of me, because I think there's a lot of wisdom and just like insight that we can both bring from, because we love the Bible. Like, Jesus is my main man. You may be my husband, but Jesus is my main man. So I think, just kidding. I think
really
there's
good.
like a bend there. Not that like you have to be a Christian or anything like that, but I just think that like some of the teachings, and I love other content spiritually, but I think, you know, meditation, prayer.
No, but that's really good. I'm just gonna
So
just dive in real quick to what you said, piggyback off, because like you said that, you know, some of the things are not real. You go to a Christian setting and they're like holier than thou. And I think the thing, like, that speaks to me, so I'm just gonna say it this way just because it might make more sense. And it's a really good thing. So like on this podcast, we're not gonna jam Jesus down your throat, but you'll like the saying, they'll know God by how you love them.
yeah.
Right? So we're just here to love on people and be real with them, raw with them. Like, I'm the friend who will tell you, do your breath stink, you know? like, and that's raw. Like, if you have a friend and he's real, he's gonna tell you your breath stinks. You need some underarm deodorant. Like, dude, you left your tag on your jeans.
You did that today.
I did, and you didn't tell me.
I didn't see it.
No, but I think that's kind of like the intention with that, right? Is to bring people in here. You know, we're real, we're raw, we're not here to like preach to you. We're just here to love and let people understand that that's the way it is, I guess.
Well,
Go ahead and finish your thought and intention.
No,
Sorry.
I think I was done. I was babbling. I'm like very passionate about this, so I think I could go on and on about like who it's for, because I just know that like I have had so many dark moments where I just like don't have anywhere to call, or like you're listening to a book, or like you need something to shift your mindset, and you're like, I literally like don't have the tools. And I really want to bring people actionable tools to be able to make the hard decisions. Like, it's hard to make the decisions in marriage. It's hard to make the decisions in life, and like find your North Star. So just like tools to understand like how to make those decisions, because you have that North Star, and I want to like help. I always am like so addicted to understanding how we make those decisions, because every choice impacts everyone in our lives and everything in our lives, and that's super important. So all right, what a last thing, and I think we've like talked about this a little, like a ton, but like what do you hope, what are like the things you hope people get from this? Like, what are the top, we'll just say like top 3 things that you hope people get from this every single week? If like I'm a listener, I'm like, I have 30 minutes, what can I guarantee walk away with every single week?
Walk away with that's a pretty rough one. That feels like a lot of weight, you know. Like, I got to give the people what they want, but
no, but I think that there's some things that people can count on.
Well, I think bottom line, you know, people can come here. I lost my train of thought, like, big time.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah, if you can go first. I have it, but I can't. I don't know. I can verbalize it. So let's hear your.
I changed the
You're still good at
a little.
talking. Yeah.
Oh my god! No, I'm not. Okay, so I think for me, I think you have different ones. For me, you're funny, and I don't mean to be funny, but people laugh at me. So you can guarantee, like, laugh at some like funny stories or some dumb shit we've done. Like, that is guaranteed.
That's pretty good.
Number 2, I think, is like a tool. Like, we will bring a tool or a resource, like something that you can integrate every single week that will change your, like, who you are or your relationships, and how you go about things every single week in a mindset shift. Like, within that, there'll be something that you can integrate but it'll come from like also a mindset shift, like something, some way you can think about things differently within your life, within your business, within your relationship, and with your kids. Like there will be something that you will be like able to rethink, or just be affirmed on, right? Like it'll reaffirm something you've already learned, every single week. I think that is definitely what you can count on, in my perspective, because we do that well, and we've gotten that feedback. I think that like we've done enough work. Even in our mess, you will learn. From our mess, you will learn something. I promise. Okay, go. Any add-ons?
3 things.
You don't have to have 3, but any add-ons?
I think, what was the question again?
What can people walk away with?
Okay, people can walk away. What people can walk away with?
Or count on.
And count on. So the one thing that they could count on, like I said, even if I don't feel prepared or this or that, like I'm always going to show up. I'm going to be there.
They can count on you.
Yeah, they can count on me to show up.
Okay.
So I'll be here every week. I'm going to be picking at you. I'm going to be, they can count on us being real. They're going to hear real stories from us, our experiences, how we overcame it or how we're still dealing with it.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to hear an anecdotal thing or something that's made up.
Oh yeah.
Things that they can look forward to is, just the stories we have to share. We've been together quite a while.
17 years.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, the experience of our marriage and our life together. It's like 80 years of people. Like we've done so many things.
You think so?
I feel like we've done so many things. We've experienced a ton.
Okay.
Like we became parents like off the bat.
True.
We got married like quick. Like everything just was like bam, 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 bam. And it was at a time, like we weren't looking for each other.
Yeah.
It's like you always find what you're looking for when you're not looking.
Very true.
And because that happened, it's like everything just fell into place.
Yeah.
It's like we were just destined to like run through hell together to find heaven, right? Like, and I think that's what we did. So I think people can look forward to just being in the race with us, and I guess becoming familiar with getting to know us. And
that's more than 3.
Well, I'm not numbering them.
Oh, okay.
But I think that like just to see the realness. I think bottom line, the listeners and viewers, they just get to see the realness. They get to look forward to seeing 2 people who, we feel like we're a hot mess all the time, and we don't know what we're doing yet. We're pushing forward, right?
Yeah.
And that's the key is like they can grow with us as well. They'll fall forward with us, and then if we fall back, those get to watch us lift each other up in real time.
That's so good. All right. So if you are ready to be sharpened and you're ready to jump in, please subscribe. That really helps us out. This is our first episode, so we would really appreciate it if you would subscribe and rate this podcast. That would help us out as well. And if you are looking for a place to just take a minute to learn and get some new insights, this is the podcast for you. So thank you for joining us on our first podcast. We will see you guys soon.
Yep. See you next week.